A traffic mess outside two Lexington schools when a gas leak causes the buildings to be evacuated right at dismissal time.
Today, pocketbooks for colleges and universities across the state just got a little bit bigger. Why the Supreme Court says Governor Bevin shouldn't have decreased funding.
Charlotte, North Carolina is bracing for another night of protests after violence took hold of the city. I'm Kenneth Craig in Charlotte with a look at how the city's preparing coming up.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good afternoon to you. Parents had a tough time getting to students at Bryan Station High and Middle after the schools had to be evacuated.
That call came to pull the students from the buildings shortly before 3 o'clock after school leaders were notified of a gas leak. Officer Don flew over the scene in WKYT Sky First. Our Monique Blair is on the ground. She joins us live with new information on what's happening. Monique?
Hi, Sam and Amber. Everything here at Bryan Station Middle School, also Bryan Station High School behind me, has calmed down now. But just about an hour or so ago, it was a bit chaotic out here as parents were scrambling to pick up their children, also as they were trying to figure out exactly what was going on out here. Now, the Lexington Fire Department tells me at 2:42 this afternoon, a construction worker unknowingly ran over an underground natural gas pocket on Easton Road. As a precaution, both schools were immediately evacuated along with 8 homes. The students were taken to the football field while they waited to be dismissed.
Well, I mean, at first it was like chaos, but they got it together and they got it moving smoothly. And so, you know, I got to give them credit for that because they did. They got it moving. So, and it's working.
Those 8 homes will still be evacuated for another 2 hours or so while a 20-foot vent is built so that natural gas can safely be vented into the air. For now, I'm reporting live in Lexington. Monique Blair, WKYT.
Monique, thank you. Now to a breaking national news alert. A prosecutor in Tulsa, Oklahoma says arrangements are being made for the surrender of a white police officer who fatally shot an unarmed black man on a city street.
The Tulsa County District Attorney filed a first-degree manslaughter charge today against Officer Betty Shelby. Shelby shot and killed 40-year-old Terrence Crutcher last Friday. Dashcam and aerial footage of the shooting and its aftermath showed Crutcher walking away from Shelby with his arms in the air. The footage does not offer a clear view of when Shelby fired the single shot that killed Crutcher. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on this developing story.
Here in Kentucky, it's one of many legal battles between the governor's office and the Kentucky Attorney General. This morning, the Supreme Court settled one debate, ruling that the governor, Matt Bevin, cannot cut the budgets of public colleges and universities without the approval of the state legislature.
And while the governor's office has called the ruling a disappointment, Beshear's office is claiming victory. Caitlin Sentner has more now on the budget battle in Frankfort in our top story at 5.
This afternoon, the governor's office issued a statement saying they're not happy with the Supreme Court's decision. They say the state has a pension problem. It's pressing and needs to be addressed. They say that problem began with Governor Steve Beshear's leadership. That tune much different than Attorney General Andy Beshear's message today.
I'm also calling on the governor's office to use today as a turning point. It's time for him to stop attacking and instead to join me in building a better Kentucky.
Today, Attorney General Andy Beshear said he's just doing his job after the Supreme Court said he's within his rights to question the governor and to overturn the governor's decision to slash funding for public colleges and universities. Earlier this year, Governor Bevin ordered $18 million in appropriation be cut from schools across the Commonwealth. Beshear says schools across the state need that money.
This governor is all about cutting the red tape, and this case is over. So I'm calling on him to cut that red tape and go ahead and immediately provide these funds to our universities. They desperately need them. They can use them. And in the end, it'll help Kentucky families, whether it's the students or the faculty.
Schools across the state are already making plans on how they'll use that money. Here at the University of Kentucky, they say they'll use $5.6 million towards student success, specifically retention rates and graduation rates. In Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Today's decision by the Kentucky Supreme Court settles only one lawsuit between Governor Bevin and Attorney General Andy Beshear. Beshear has also filed a legal complaint to intervene against the governor's recent overhaul of the Kentucky Retirement System Board of Trustees. And Bevin's decision to abolish the University of Louisville's Board of Trustees is also being challenged by Beshear. You can find the full legal ruling from the Kentucky State Supreme Court on our web channel. Just go to WKYT.com.
Police caught up with 3 people after a shots fired call caused a safety alert on a college campus. The shots were fired outside a bar near Eastern Kentucky University, leading to some tense moments on the campus. Our Sabira Rayford talked with Richmond police about how they tracked down the suspects.
Police say they are still investigating a shooting that happened early this morning just steps away from EKU's campus. Employees at the Copper Still say Wednesday nights are a popular student night. Police say around 1 in the morning, a fight broke out on 2nd Street in downtown Richmond. A short time later, they received calls that multiple shots had been fired. They say a group of Eastern Kentucky students got into a fight outside the bar with a group of men. EKU issued an alert warning students to take cover. A representative for the university said when an incident occurs close to campus, they usually send out an alert about it. Police were able to track down the suspected shooters. They arrested 23-year-old Dante Hill and 21-year-old Tyler Brand. 21-year-old Anthony Gerald fled the scene, but police were able to catch up with him a short time later and then arrested him. Police say they found 9mm shell casings on top of the car and unused rounds were in the car.
We haven't found a weapon at this time. We found ammunition and shell casings, and it's under investigation, so pending probably more charges later on.
Police say at this time they haven't located the students involved in the fight. In Richmond, Sabira Rayford, WKYT.
2 of the 3 suspects who were arrested were already wanted on prior warrants. A road closed after a pedway collapse on the EKU campus is set to reopen in about an hour. Lancaster Avenue has been closed since September 9th. A dump truck hit a pedestrian overpass, causing it to collapse. Police had to close Lancaster Avenue between Krabby Street and Barnes Mill Road in order to repair the pedway. And while Lancaster Avenue is reopening at 6 tonight, the pedway will remain closed for continued repairs.
Police in Charlotte, North Carolina are preparing for what could be a 3rd night of violent protest.
Several civilians and 2 police officers were injured last night after peaceful protests gave way to looting and violence. CBS's Kenneth Craig is in Charlotte with the latest on the efforts to bring calm to that city.
After watching a peaceful protest spiral out of control in downtown Charlotte, authorities are hoping the National Guard and Highway Patrol will maintain order tonight.
We have a full complement of our civil emergency unit ready to continue working to prevent violent crime.
Wednesday's violent protests left businesses damaged and looted. 2 officers and 9 civilians were injured. A civilian was shot in the head and is now fighting for his life, but it is not clear who shot him.
We're reviewing video, and we're assessing our people who were there as well, because an allegation was made that one of our officers might have been involved.
The violence followed Tuesday's fatal police shooting of Keith Scott, a 43-year-old black man who officers say refused to put down his gun. Scott's family and witnesses say he was holding a book. Police said they will show body camera video of the incident to Scott's family, but even after several nights of violence and even property damage, they have ruled out a public release.
There must be transparency, and the videos must be released.
Quintrell Burrell is in Charlotte for a church revival. He's worried about more violence tonight.
People want answers, and because there have been no answers, I don't think there'll be an end.
The city says it's ready. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Charlotte, North Carolina.
U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, who was in Kentucky this week, is also calling for calm. She's sending 4 Department of Justice officials to Charlotte to support local law enforcement, but so far there is no federal investigation.
Well, it is official. We promise you today is the first day of fall, but Mother Nature is paying no attention to the calendar. We are hanging on to these summer-like temperatures as long as we can. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey joins us now from the First Alert Weather Center. Chris?
Yes, indeed. Summer putting in some extra work so far this early fall. And you know what? It's got at least 2 or 3 more days left in the summer tank before we can start to transition into something that's going to look and feel more like it should. Live look outside, WKYT Sky Cam, Hamburg Pavilion in the distance, blue skies over top of us, 88, but look at the humidity, 32%. That's actually up 3 percentage points over the past hour or so. It is a dry heat that is out there across central and eastern Kentucky and really most of the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley with numbers that are way above what we should be dealing with. Cold front to our north, low pressure to our south and southeast, sandwiched in between. We've got high pressure and a whole lot of nothing in the skies across central and eastern Kentucky, and that is going to continue to be the drill with those thermometers into the upper 80s. And again, high school football fans, tomorrow night, similar setup with 80s as you head into the game, right around 80, give or take a degree or two at kickoff. Low 70s will show up by the fourth quarter of many of those games. When I come back in just a few minutes, we will focus on the weekend forecast and take a bigger look into next week, guys, as I see a major blast of fall finally showing up.
Social media is great for spreading the word, but one Kentucky business owner says a post on Facebook is ruining his business. We'll tell you why ahead at 5.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
It is still summer. I know your calendar says something different, but you know what? The weather pattern continues to be stuck on summer for the next couple of days at least. Through the coming weekend. Then some changes blow up next week. Let's look outside and look at your thermometers that are upper 80s to right around 90 degrees across much of central and eastern Kentucky. 88 into Lexington, into Mount Sterling, southeastern Kentucky, 88. You've got no humidity, though, so we're not worried about a heat index. That's a good thing. Defender Radar Network, nothing going on across the Bluegrass State, nothing going on across the Ohio Valley. Low pressure spinning across the Carolinas is still there, is still kind of backing up the pattern, keeping everything to our north and west. And this front is promoting some big-time showers and thunderstorms that will never impact our weather. That's where the battleground is right now for some fall air versus the summer air that we're seeing across Kentucky. And tomorrow, very much like today, upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3-day threat track, green, green, green. I may just throw red in there for hot, hot, hot. And it's going to be the forecast as we go through the next few days. Again, humidity levels will be way down. Winds may pick up just a little bit as we get deeper into the weekend. This time of day, we get a new hour-by-hour forecast in. Has no changes, though. 85 to 90 tomorrow at 5 o'clock, quitting time, heading into the weekend. Saturday morning, you get a little increase maybe in the humidity of the atmosphere. May even squeeze out a little cloud cover at some point on Saturday. You know I'm desperate when I'm talking about squeezing out a little cloud cover just to give me something to talk about. Similar setup for the day on Sunday, and one little change southeastern Kentucky. Model is trying to spit out an isolated shower or a thunderstorm during that time. This will take us into a pattern that does turn much cooler as we go into next week. So we've got the temperature trends on here, we've got the winds, and we've got a little area of low pressure that is going to try to become cut off across the region. What does that mean for Monday and Tuesday? It means we have a chance for at least scattered showers and thunderstorms. Then look what happens. Notice all the cooler colors begin to really take hold Tuesday into Wednesday with this slow-moving upper-level low that tries somewhere across the Ohio Valley, mid-Atlantic states to kind of camp out. Look at the timeline. This is next week, mind you. And that low then actually tries to work back toward the west as we go into next Friday or Saturday. So that's a pattern that is a 180 from what we're dealing with right now. It actually gives me something to talk about instead of sunshine, 85 to 90. Next week, upper 60s to around 70 for a high, not 1, not 2, but maybe 3 days in a row. And a little beneficial rain, a possibility Monday and Tuesday during that time as well.
Ooh, it is going to be hot Saturday at Commonwealth Stadium.
It is, but it's going to feel a lot like today, where it's tolerable. Sure. You can breathe on a day like this because you don't have that just stifling humidity in the air.
I like that you keep reminding folks about the sunscreen because it's easy to forget.
That's right. Sun's still high in the sky.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Well, the crash inbound Tates Creek and Alumni cleared. We're back to normal through that intersection. Still, overall views not too crazy. It's slow outbound South Lime and Nicholasville Road from Southland to the Circle and in front of the mall. Drive times for now, dealing with normal stuff to Nicholasville, still less than 15 minutes, less than 13 to Versailles from Lexington. Now back to you in the studio.
It's been 10 years since 2 young women drowned in Lexington because of flash flooding. Coming up, see the changes that have been made to that area to prevent another tragedy.
Here's a look at what's trending online. Clowns are hanging on as the top story on WKYT.com. In second, a story we're covering about the Supreme Court ruling involving college and university budgets. And it is clowns again. This time, a Southern Kentucky Police Department is warning people about the dangers they can cause by dressing up. It has been 10 years since 2 young women lost their lives when high water rose near the University of Kentucky campus.
It's a day that many of us will never forget. Following their deaths, the city made several changes in hopes of keeping anyone else from suffering the same tragedy. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell shows us the safety improvements now in place.
A slow-moving storm system brought torrential rains to the region on September 22nd and 23rd, 2006, resulting in widespread flooding. But in Lexington, 2 young women lost their lives after being swept away in high water. UK pharmacy student Lauren Fannin and UK nursing school graduate Lindsay Harp were killed while attempting to walk across a flooded Nicholasville Road near Alumni Drive. Our chief meteorologist Chris Bailey was working that evening and recalls the event.
I was working that Friday evening, and I knew that this was a setup that was probably going to lead to a lot of rain. Had no idea it was going to lead to the massive flash flooding that it did. But I was here until about between 8 and 9 o'clock the next morning. No one can get to work to relieve me at all.
Between that evening and early the next morning, parts of Fayette County had received between 6 and 7 inches of rainfall. September 23rd remains one of the top 10 rainiest days in Lexington, with 4.76 inches falling between midnight and 8 a.m.
In my tenure here, that is probably second on the list of severe weather events that I've had to cover. March 2nd, 2012 obviously being number 1.
Even without such high totals, standing water issues were common in that area due to drainage issues. In 2014, nearly 8 years after Fannin and Harp were killed, the University of Kentucky started a $12 million flood control project. $9 million came from a grant received from FEMA. The project redirected part of the Big Elm Fork stream and placed a water detention basin beneath the parking lot. In Lexington, I'm WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
And tonight on the CW Lexington at 6:30, we'll talk some more with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey about that terrible night and how it all played out. Amber?
Our county-by-county coverage begins in Kenton County, where a man dubbed as the Shirt Mask Bandit is now behind bars. Stephen Thomas pled not guilty on 14 counts of robbery. Police arrested him yesterday. Police say the shirt mask robberies began last summer with 7 robberies in 8 days. Investigators say he robbed at least 8 more locations in the past 2 weeks. Police gave him that name because he used a T-shirt draped over his shoulder to cover his face during the robberies. A major intersection in Pulaski County is back open after being blocked by a messy crash. A tanker hauling 100 gallons of fuel overturned about 8 this morning. It happened at the intersection of US 27 and Highway 80. Highway 80 eastbound was closed for nearly 3 hours. And workers at a Nelson County business say a false social media report is affecting business. A post on social media claims the owner of Speedy Mart on Bloomfield Road in Bardstown stole money from a donation jar put out in honor of a murder victim. The owner of the store provided WDRB in Louisville with surveillance video. He says the jar was out for 1 day and he removed it because he had not given permission to anyone to put it there. The video says very few people donated. That's why the owner and his employees say when the jar was given back, there was hardly any money in it.
I mean, it made me mad because they're saying things that's not true. And they're calling him a thief, and he's not, and he didn't take nothing.
According to the owner of Speedy Mart, the post has hurt his business so dramatically that he has taken the issue to the Nelson County attorney to pursue legal action.
3 people pleading guilty in a Clark County courtroom today for the shooting death of a woman. We'll have more on why they took a deal coming up at 5:30.